So as I was coming up with my next vinyl update video, I came up with a group of records that I haven't shown in my channel before that kind of fit in the same bucket of records that I really have to be a little bit careful with if I listen to them very late at night, right before going to sleep. And it's not because there's anything wrong with the music or anything wrong with the records themselves. It is more that there's such hard rocking records, such upbeat hard rocking records that they tend to stick in my head. And if I listen to them late at night, right before going to sleep, I will really struggle falling asleep. That's how much that kind of music impacts me or makes an effect on me. And I was wondering if that's something that happens just to me or a lot of people in the VC, maybe they have a similar experience. But I have a group of 5 records here. Again, I haven't shown them before in my channel that kind of have that effect on me. I tend to lose sleep if I listen to them late at night. So let's go ahead and check them out. Let's start off with this one. This one is my favorite record by Ty Segall. This is the record that really got me into his music. This is Manipulator, again by Ty Segall. And it came out in 2014 on Drag City Records. Absolutely a banger of a record. I found this one in the used bin at a record store a few months ago. Love the artwork. Really cool looking artwork in this one with the gatefold. The only thing is that it doesn't have a track list here in the back. I usually like to have the track list. But it did come in with a nice insert with the lyrics and some really creepy drawings there. And there it is. The credits as well, and this is a double LP. The 2 records, they look the same, just on black vinyl with the Drag City labels. Again, came out in 2014. I can't believe it's been already more than 10 years that this record came out, because I love this record since it came out. I remember it didn't make my top 10 albums of the year, but it was close. I believe it was admitted to my honorable mentions list of 2014. Great record, the guitars are incredible. The way that Ty sings in this record, it almost seems like he's an alien, like out of this world. But all the songs in this one are bangers. Absolutely love this one. Hard rocking record that really keeps me up at night. Again, Ty Segall with Manipulator. Alright, another one that really keeps me up at night, and this one to me is the perfect example of power pop music. Ultimate Fake Book, and this one's called Open Up and Say Awesome. A much needed reissue on vinyl of this classic from the early 2000s, and this one came out originally in 2002. This is the first, or actually it's the first pressing on vinyl. It never came out on vinyl until now, in 2025 on Rocket Heart Records. Great power pop from the trio from Manhattan, Kansas. Came in with a nice insert with a nice write-up of how it describes how the band ended up recording this record back in 2001 and 2002. Really interesting because they started recording the record right when 9/11 happened back in 2001. And, it had a huge impact overall in American culture and even in music as well. So they had to change a few things when that happened. Really interesting how they recorded the record. And the back has some cool pictures of the band. And the record itself, I believe this one came out on color vinyl, I think. No, actually just on standard black vinyl, with the custom labels, with the logo from the era when this record came out. Absolutely a banger of a record. Almost all the songs in this one are fast-paced, power pop, right up my alley. It's kind of like power pop combined with the pop punk music, especially very typical from the stuff that came out back in the early 2000s. And I love the picture here in the album artwork of the guys just air guitaring, like just rocking out, balls out. Again, Ultimate Fake Book with Open Up and Say Awesome. I'm gonna play you a clip of one of the tracks in this record because this is such a fantastic record. And one cool thing that they did in this reissue, I guess the first issue on vinyl, is that they switched around the track list order in the album. The original one that came out on CD had a different order. And this one they changed it so they have more of the fast-paced bangers at the very front of the record in side A. and some of the slower, kind of like the power ballads at the end or the middle of the record, which I think ends up sounding a lot better because you kind of start off all out on those fast-paced rock songs. Again, this is a great record from back in the early 2000s, Ultimate Fakebook with Open Up and Say Awesome. All right, another record that really keeps me up at night. This is a new pickup that I just got at the record store, the Screaming Females, with their second studio album, What If Someone Is Watching Their TV? And this one came out in 2007 on Don Giovanni Records. This is the reissue that came out on Don Giovanni. I believe the first pressing of the record was a self-release by the band. And I found this one at the used bin at the record store a few months ago. I'm a huge fan of the Screaming Females, so I had to add it to my collection. Really cool artwork here in the insert. Marisa, the singer of the band, she does all the artwork for all the Screaming Females releases. So really cool to see her typical or characteristic artwork here in the insert as well as in the front cover. And the record itself came in on black vinyl. With the custom labels too. More artwork there by Marisa. But yeah, fantastic record from the Screaming Females. I'm kind of catching up and trying to get some of their older records added to my collection. I have most of the newer stuff that came out in the last few years, but I'm still having to pick up some of the older stuff, and I really needed this one for my collection. Again, another banger of a record, just fast-paced punk rock. Marisa Paternoster, she's the singer, and she sings with a lot of personality, a lot of grit, and she sings in kind of like a visceral way, kind of like a Kathleen Hanna kind of thing from Bikini Kill, just screaming some of the tracks, putting a lot of effort in the singing and the personality, and the guitars in this record are incredible. Absolutely a banger of an album. One of my favorite records from the Screaming Females, and I like a lot of their records. Again, this is the Screaming Females with What If Someone Is Watching Their TV? All right, up next, one of my favorite albums of all time. Again, another recent pickup. I bought this one at the record show a few months ago, I think, the Atlanta record show. I found it brand new, unsealed, and something that I wanted in my collection for years. A classic punk rock record from Rocket from the Crypt. Would you call this punk rock? I think it's more of just like a rock record. Fantastic rock record from Rocket from the Crypt. This one's called Group Sounds, and I believe this is the very last studio album that came out from Rocket from the Crypt. Originally came out in 2001. This is the newest reissue of the record to commemorate the 25th anniversary of the album. On limited color vinyl from Vagrant Records. Such a great record. Again, one of my favorite albums of all time. And again, just full of bangers. Came in with a nice inner sleeve. Some cool pictures there, the lyrics. And the vinyl itself is really cool. Came in on kind of like a splatter yellow and black color vinyl. Kind of like a makes you think of Third Man Records colors and the custom labels. Great looking record, absolutely a banger of an album. Again, I cannot listen to this late at night if I want to sleep that night. Bangers from start to finish, no skips in this record. Fast-paced rock and roll. I love John Reese's voice in this album. To me, is my favorite record from Rocket from the Crypt. Again, glad to add it to my collection. This one's called Group Sounds. All right, and last but not least, this is one of my favorite bands ever to see live. I picked this one up at the Third Man Record store in Nashville when I went. I visited Nashville a few weeks ago, and of course I had to do a quick stop at the Third Man Records, and I picked up this one that I've been wanting in my collection for a while as well. This is The Hives with Live at Third Man Records. I remember when this one came out back in 2020, a few years ago, of course on Third Man Records. I missed out on it when it first came out. It's of course has the Hives playing some of their hits live. And this is the one that, or one of the records from Third Man. If you can see the hype sticker there, it says direct to acetate. I'm not sure exactly what it means, but the way that I understand it is that it's recorded and immediately transferred into what makes the vinyl record, I think. So the sound is really good, or it's supposed to be, but it does sound really good in this one. Black vinyl on the Third Man Records labels. But yeah, it has, again, the Hives are one of my favorite bands to ever see live. They're just so fun, entertaining, and their music is, of course, very, very upbeat. So especially this being a live record, it kind of puts you in the show. And again, if I listen to it late at night, I'm going to be thinking about this record and about this concert all the way through the night. Only has 7 songs in this record, but it has some of the more recognizable Hives songs. Especially Hate to Say I Told You So, which was their big hit from back in the early 2000s. Main Offender, which is one of my favorite songs from the band. And Walk Idiot Walk. And the opening track is a banger, Come On. One of the best opening tracks of all time, in my opinion. But again, another record that really keeps me up at night. The Hives, live at Third Man Records. Alright, so those are the 5 records that I wanted to show you for this video. 5 records that really keep me up at night if I do plan to listen to them at night. I'm sure there's more in my collection that really have a similar effect on me, but those are the 5 records that I haven't shown in my channel quite yet. So yeah, feel free to put in some comments. Let me know what records have that kind of effect on you, if they do. Or feel free to make a video as well. We'd love to hear your picks. All right, thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.